Welcome back to the Cool Reviews. Yeah. I'm back. Yo, today we're gonna talk about the Cleveland Browns and quarterback hell. I really started to look into this Cleveland Browns situation because it was really hurting my spirit to see what they doing to Shedeur. But the more and more I really look into this Cleveland Brown thing, the more and more I really started to look at. Wait a second. This ain't just a Shedeur thing. Cleveland Brown is actually a terrible place for a quarterback to actually go play. I've been watching these videos, I've been looking this stuff up, and yeah, the Cleveland Browns, they are what you call quarterback hell. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through some videos and we're gonna see how the Cleveland Brown actually over time has treated and screwed over quarterbacks. So if you think it's just a Shedeur Sanders thing, you'd be wrong. They actually just don't know how to use quarterbacks. We finna get started. Let's go.
In NFL history, back in 1999, the Cleveland Browns were making their grand return to the NFL after a 3-year absence. They had the first overall pick in the draft, and they selected Tim Couch, a record-setting quarterback from the University of Kentucky. The Browns believed Couch would be the key to their future success, but what happened next was a disaster that no one saw coming. You see, Couch was thrown into a bad situation from the start. The Browns had a weak offensive line, and Couch was constantly under pressure. In his rookie season, he was sacked 56 times and threw 13 interceptions in 14 starts. Despite this, he showed glimpses of potential, throwing 15 touchdowns and leading the Browns to a few last-minute wins. But then, the injuries started piling up. The thing is, Couch broke his thumb in 2000, missed games in other seasons with shoulder issues, and even broke his leg during a critical playoff push in 2002. The Browns ended up making the playoffs, but Couch wasn't on the field due to his injury. But here's where it all fell apart. You see, Couch was released in 2004 after the Browns gave up on him. He tried to restart his career, but never played in another regular season game. Many label him a bust, but some argue the Browns set him up to fail. Worse.
See, we think it's just Shedeur. This is just what Cleveland does. And the more I've really been looking at it is, it's really kind of spooky how they treat quarterbacks. You know, they literally have a history of doing this. I would say they've never, ever actually developed a quarterback, period. So, a lot of us, because, when you look at it, a lot of us ain't even Cleveland Browns fans. We Shedeur Sanders fans. And now what's happening is people are starting to pay attention and starting to figure out, like, hold on, this team really don't care about no quarterback. This team literally is just terrible, period, when it comes to quarterback talent. And I'm gonna keep showing y'all these videos so y'all can just see how terrible this team actually is when it comes to talent. So Dion may have been onto something when he was like, I don't give a damn about that losing team. I'm a Shedeur fan. Because over time, and I'm going to show you with these videos, the Cleveland Browns has just been trash when it comes to quarterbacks, period.
Dive on the ball and got hit in the back of the head, and next thing I remember, the fans were cheering when I'm laying on the field hurt, and I think it's to be honest with you, but hey, they got their own opinion, so they don't like me. Then been here going on 4 years now, and I've laid it on the line for this team and this city, and for them to turn on me and boo me in my home stadium is a joke. It's a joke to me, and I've worked my off here. And it's hard to take, man. It is. And
Yeah, if I'm Shedeur, I don't think I want to put on that number 2 man, like the fans booed him. And look at him. The dude looked like he ready to get out of there. Like this is the history of the Cleveland Brown quarterbacks. This is what they do. And I want to say this was what back in the early 2000s, baby. Up until today, I got another video showing how many quarterbacks the Cleveland Browns have actually had over the last 10, 15 years. They are horrible when it comes to quarterbacks. So this live is really just showing y'all that this is not just a Shedeur thing. This is actually a Cleveland Browns thing.
I'm going to name every Browns starting quarterback since they came back to the NFL in 1999. How do you spell ineptitude? Tim Couch, Ty Detmer, Doug Peterson, Spur John Wynn, Kelly Holcomb, Jeff Garcia, Luke McCown, Trent Dilfer, Charlie Fry, Derek Anderson. Let's throw in some Brady Quinn, some Ken Dorsey, Bruce Gradkowski, and a little bit of Colt McCoy to go along with an aging Jake Delhomme. Then you have Seneca Wallace, followed by Brandon Whedon and Thad Lewis. That was 2012. That could be the worst and lowest point of them all. Brandon Whedon was a 28-year-old first-round pick. And how about we go to Jason Campbell, Brian Hoyer, Johnny Football himself, Johnny Manziel, Connor Shaw, Austin Davis, Cody Kessler, RG3, Deshaun Kaiser and Kevin Hogan in 2017, also a candidate for the worst and lowest point. Tyrod Taylor, Baker Mayfield, who the hell is that? Case Keenum, Nick Mullins, Jacoby Brissett, Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, PJ Walker, Jeff Driscoll, Jameis Winston, and Bailey friggin' Zappi. That is 39 quarterbacks since 1999. And here's another fun fact for you. The two greatest passes in Browns history are still Brian Sipe and Otto Graham.
Bailey Zappi is actually still on the team. And did y'all see they drafted a quarterback? I think they said that was like 26, 27 years old. Maybe they got a thing for old quarterbacks because we know Dylan Gabriel was in college for like 6 years. Maybe they just like drafting older quarterbacks. I don't know. But it has something to be said that Cleveland Browns literally are ruining these quarterbacks. And then on top of that, right? On top of that, hold on one second. On top of that, Johnny Manziel had the 2 jersey. And one more other, I think that was Tim Couch or Wheaton. The other one had the number 2 jersey. I don't think I want to put on that number 2 jersey after them. Man, like, you see how many quarterbacks they've had since 1999? So you got to ask yourself, do we really want Shedeur Sanders to start for this team? Do we really, really want Shedeur Sanders to go out and display what he have on this team, seeing that since forever they've literally not known what to do with a quarterback? Do we really want what we asking for? I don't know, but let's keep it going.
See, the crazy thing is Baker was a great teammate too. Like it's like weird though, because like I like him. Like for me, honestly, like he'll do stuff like I would hang out with him because it'll be like Austin Hooper, some of the offensive guys. I was hanging out with the offensive guys a little bit.
Okay,
but like he'll take us after games. I'll go to dinner with some of like my family's not in town. He'll invite me to dinner and hang out with him. It was just like. It was just so much those relationships just from the whole entire thing was just off, honestly. Like it was just, and yes, it was it's distracting, but I see the crazy thing is Baker was a great team.
What if I told you Baker Mayfield's career was supposed to be over, but he brought it back to life? Baker came into the league as the #1 pick, full of swagger, the guy who was supposed to save Cleveland. And for a while, it looked like he might. He helped end the Browns' playoff drought, gave that franchise real hope, and showed flashes of being the guy. But then came the injuries, the bad play, and the drama. He bounced around from team to team. The Browns gave up on him. Carolina gave up on him. It felt like the league was done with him. And then, Tampa Bay. Everyone thought the Bucs would fall apart without Tom Brady, but Baker stepped in and shocked everybody. He found that fire again, that chip on his shoulder. He led the Bucs to the playoffs, proved he could still win, and reminded the world why he was drafted number 1 in the first place. Being Baker Mayfield means you've been counted out more times than you can remember. But it also means you fight back, and right now, Baker's career is alive and thriving again.
No, I feel disrespected, 100%. Because I was told one thing and they completed another. That's what I'm in the middle of right now. And you know what? Okay, I got my taste of it because I've had 4 different head coaches in 4 years, a bunch of different coordinators. I've had, talk about the highs. They always come back. They always come back.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I had great times my rookie year. Like I didn't start in the beginning. I came in and got to have fun the back half of the year. 2019 sucked. 2020 was great. Made the playoffs. 2021 was miserable. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm just looking for stabilization right now, and like I know what I need to do for me to be the best version of me, and to be able to lead an organization. And like, I'm in a good place right now,
Right.
to where like I have no clue where I'm going. No, I
Why the hell did the Browns give up on Baker Mayfield? He brought them back to life and they threw him out like trash. Baker was the number 1 overall pick in 2018, and by year 3 he had Cleveland winning playoff games. In 2020 he threw for 26 touchdowns, only 8 picks, won 11 games, and beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh to win the Browns' first playoff game in 26 years. He then took the Chiefs down to the wire in the divisional round and came 1 possession away from beating Patrick Mahomes. But in 2021, it all fell apart. In week 2, Baker tore his labrum in his non-throwing shoulder, and instead of sitting out, he kept playing, trying to tough it out. But the numbers tanked, the team underachieved, and the front office started shopping. Then in 2022, they made their move, traded for Deshaun Watson while he was still dealing with 20-plus civil lawsuits, and gave him $230 million fully guaranteed. They didn't just replace Baker, they blindsided him and shipped him off to Carolina for a conditional pick. And yeah, he bounced around for a bit after that, but then 2023 happened. Baker signed with Tampa, threw for over 4,000 yards, won a playoff game, and finally looked like a guy who brought the Browns back. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson is getting paid $60 million a year and hasn't even finished a full season. So why did the Browns give up on Baker Mayfield? They panicked, they got impatient, and they might never live it down. Why?
I have a conspiracy theory that Kevin Stefanski purposely sabotaged Baker because he didn't like him. So he wanted to prove to Jimmy Haslam and ownership that he wasn't the guy. So he played him through injury, made him throw the ball a bunch of times, knowing he was hurt, to make him look worse so he can go get who he thought was his guy. I completely respect Baker. I think Baker is a solid quarterback. Remember, I used to get offended every time you said he was nothing but Gardner Minshew. I couldn't stand when you used to say that. That made
Gardner Minshew having a good year too, though.
I know, he is. I like what Baker's doing. I respect Baker. I hope he gets a 5-year deal. I hope he gets a contract he deserves. Like, he was our number 1 pick. I wish he was still on our team.
50, 2-year 45 mil, I think, right now.
Listen,
so.
I wouldn't be mad if they threw some money at him, like, you know what? We're chalking up Deshaun, bring him back. Well, I know it's not going to happen, impossible. I'm just saying. Like, I
wouldn't be mad either.
But that's how much
How
of a
y'all
fan.
going to throw money at him? You ain't got none left. Endorsements.
their GM's calling me going,
Woo! Baker Mayfield. Y'all see how they treated Baker Mayfield? He white. So, you know, they ran him in the ground. I guess the coach didn't like him. And they got him up out of there. Literally tried to ruin this man's career. Had him playing hurt. And they threw him away like the trash. This is their draft pick. So it's on. And now look at Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield setting it on fire right now in Tampa Bay. And the crazy thing is, and I'm going to have to pull up this Joe Flacco from last week. How is it when some of these quarterbacks leave Cleveland, they seem happy again? They have a resurgence. their career. Like, what is Cleveland doing to these quarterbacks? And I go back and I'm going to keep asking, do we want Shedeur to really play in Cleveland? I know he on the team. In my heart, I want him to play. But when you see what the Cleveland Browns do to quarterbacks, draft picks, and these just the white boys, Shedeur really don't stand a chance in Cleveland. No. If you see, I'm showing you the video. They not even developing white quarterbacks. They not even letting them get to where they should be. So you really think they're going to be patient and take their time with Shedeur? They're going to put him in a good situation when they top picks? They didn't even do it for them? See, what this is doing is shining the spotlight on a bad organization. And hopefully more and more people will start to ask questions. What is Cleveland doing to quarterbacks? I always heard this is where quarterbacks go to die. But I never really looked into it because honestly, there's never a reason to really watch the Cleveland Browns. But now the spotlight is on them. We watching. And hey, y'all learning just like I'm learning that this team just pretty much suck. And especially when it comes to the quarterback position. We're going to keep it going.
He doesn't watch tape. Their GM's calling me going, he doesn't watch tape. I'm like, well, he's got to watch some tape. It's like, EB, his iPad hours is 0.00.
Zero.
Their GM's calling me going,
Johnny, I didn't notice. They didn't even want me. Like, I wasn't the draft pick that the Browns wanted. Like,
man, what a shitty feeling.
What?
I'm in the building. I have a building divided, right? People you walk by and they're like, yo, we love you. We're bought into you and we're working with you. And then you'll walk by people and feel a wave of energy that are like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, like,
we don't want you here at all.
We care nothing about this kid. He's not the guy we wanted. He's not the change of the organization. The owner was the only person that wanted me. He saw a Michigan State game my senior year, triple overtime. We ended up beating Michigan State. It was a great game. And he saw that game and said, that's the guy I wanted. They wanted a defensive player. Phil Savage out of Oklahoma, like he loved all these defensive players. They wanted defense, and they got a wide receiver when we had no quarterback and no plan for offense. So to have to deal with that for 4 years was crazy. Johnny, I didn't.
Opposing team to have to devote practice time to this package during the week?
Well, they want to be able to provide a spark mainly for their offense.
Wide open throw down the field. It's Manziel. Penalty markers are flying down as they fooled everyone on that play. Opposing team to have to devote.
I think, you know, from a Browns draft perspective from that year, you know, Joel Bitonio is still playing and doing well for Cleveland right now. But all around miss, you know, I think I will always be looked at and viewed at because of how much hype and, you know, media and everything that was around me and the city of Cleveland expecting me to be great and that ultimately not panning out. Listen, you know, I sit here today and I go back and forth with, man, am I going to let Cleveland off the hook and just like let it go? Or am I going to sit here with hate and animosity in my heart for the rest of my life? And I finally sit here today and I'm like, I think I'm going to be pissed at them and hate them forever. So it is what it is, man. No love for the Browns. I'm rooting for 0-16 seasons every season.
There is Manziel, his first NFL start coming at you today on a great Sunday afternoon from Ohio.
This is big, and, you know, we brought that up to Marvin Lewis.
4 to the right. Pocket collapses. Manziel looking to run, and he is going to be a little shy.
Johnny Manziel fares any better with him.
Out of his pistol, Manziel, keeper, and Manziel is buried. Wallace Gilberry. And there's your first cash sign. Blitz coming. Manziel steps up, throws it on the run, and Hawkins has it for a first down. No, he dropped it. Hawkins had it, but Reggie Nelson came over to deliver the hit. It's a 2nd and 8. Manziel's going to keep. Back to throw. Looking, and it's going to be intercepted. It's intercepted by Dre Kirkpatrick. And this is a first half disaster for the Browns.
Come and play, and that's exactly what they're doing.
So yeah, right now I'm just showing some Johnny Manziel footage. You know, people can say, you know, he was a bust. You know, he did squander some of his opportunity, but the Cleveland Browns didn't do him no favor. You know, it's like they bring you in because of the hype, but then don't know how to deal with the hype or act like they don't want the hype. You know, one of the guys even said, and it's just like Shedeur's situation, the only person that wanted him on the team was the GM. Nobody else wanted him. Or was it the owner? One of the two. Well, when you look at Shedeur's situation, if the coach don't want you there, the GM don't want you there, and maybe only the owner or whatever, it's not in your favor. And you seeing how they treated the first round picks that they actually did want. Man, look, it might get dangerous for Shedeur out there if they actually put him in the game. I don't really know, people. What y'all think? Watching some of this video, and I'm going to get back to these Johnny Manziel highlights because for what everybody say, he was a bust. I ain't going to hold you. I ain't a Cleveland Browns fan, so I really didn't watch. But from what it sounded like, it was more the organization as a failure and not just the quarterbacks.
Dominating the Cleveland Browns.
Big game for both, too, as here's Gordon getting involved with the catch, and he is swarmed. Carlos Dunlap, I mean, they are everywhere.
31st, second worst team in the league. They're hoping that Johnny Manziel can help them in this avenue.
It's only a four-man rush, 3rd and 5. Spinning around, throwing on the run. High for Jim Dre and incomplete. Now it looks like it's almost reversed today. 2nd and 11, Manziel to throw, knocked down. He was going over the middle for his tight end, Jim Dre, but Ray Malaluga, did he just get flagged for a celebration?
Taunting. He taunted in Johnny Manziel's.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, Tony, number 58.
Bengals penalties, just trying to will the Browns to get on the board. 1st and 10. Fake to West, pressure coming off his back foot, throwing. He's got Gordon. Wide open is Gordon for a Browns first down to the 25 and shoved out there. Now can the Browns take advantage? That's the big question. All kinds of communication. How can this happen out of a 2-minute warning?
Well, there's the rookie fullback.
9
we just
seconds.
told you about the rookie.
They have to take a timeout. Yeah, they got to take a timeout. That's brutal. 2-minute warning and you can't get the personnel on the field. Back to throw. Back to run. Manziel makes a move inside the 20. Here's Shanahan, offensive coordinator for these Browns. A lot of time. Stepping up, in trouble, gets away, slings it end zone in traffic, intercepted by Jones. Ill-advised throw, and Adam Jones picks it off.
Ball, you're protecting the hopes and dreams of your entire team. Johnny Manziel, careless to say the least, throwing this football up.
All right, Pam, we will see here. Looks like a little zone read, and that's going to go for maybe a loss.
Playing with rookies, you're going to take your knock.
Brandon Whedon's career.
Yeah, I just wanted to show y'all some of them Johnny Manziel highlights. And he may not have been as bad as they told everybody he was. And I'm not sure if he even got another chance after he left Cleveland. But it just goes to show how an organization, you going to the wrong organization can really kill your career. You getting on the wrong team, the wrong coach, the wrong ownership, and it can ruin you. My guy said it's a no-win situation for Shedeur. The only thing I can see is he ball out and get traded. That's literally the best thing that can happen to him is that he ball out and get traded. Other than that, I wouldn't want to stay there if I was Shedeur Sanders at all. I don't give a damn how much money they throw at him. It's a curse on the Cleveland Brown quarterback curse. That's what it looked like. The Cleveland Brown quarterback curse at this point. Because man, they go through quarterbacks like draws. Lord. And the way they treat them is terrible. So this goes to show what they doing to Shedeur ain't nothing new. Looks like this is just what they do. So now we finna check out Brandon Wheaton. Who even remember Brandon Wheaton? This is crazy. Like, I forgot all about this dude.
Career took a tumble even before it started. Brandon Whedon's path to the NFL was definitely a unique one to say the least, as he was a 28-year-old quarterback coming out of Oklahoma State University. And despite all of his college accolades, not many people had him going in the first round, in partial due to his age. But nonetheless, the Cleveland Browns drafted him in 2012 with the 22nd overall pick. And like many Browns quarterbacks before him, he struggled instantly. And all of his struggles started minutes before his first ever NFL start. You see, the Philadelphia Eagles were playing host to the Cleveland Browns in week 1 of the NFL season in 2012. And just minutes before opening kickoff, the American flag was being pulled out onto the field for the national anthem. And Brandon Whedon was unprepared for this as he got trapped under the American flag for a solid 15 to 20 seconds. Brandon Whedon's career took a tumble even before
in their first experience in the NFL. How about Brandon Whedon getting caught under the flag?
See, I was telling you about that.
The game.
What happened to the 75-year-old man drafted out of college by the Browns, Brandon Whedon? So Mr. Whedon has quite the interesting story that actually does not start here at Oklahoma State. So in high school, Whedon was a baseball and football phenom. He was immediately drafted out of high school to the Yankees, where he didn't last long and mainly played in the minors for quite a few teams. Ultimately, injuries and lack of production derailed his baseball career. So he quit and enrolled at Oklahoma State. After initially having a rough start, he ended up setting a plethora of records at Oklahoma State. And at 28 years old was drafted 22nd overall by the Browns. And he recorded a 5.1 passer rating, throwing 4 interceptions against the Eagles. But it was weird because in other games he'd have over 300 yards. Up to Tony Romo, and back up on the Texans and Titans. After one season with the Titans, and actually re-signed with the Texans in 2018, backing up Deshaun Watson. 36 years old and retired from football. What happened to the 75?
There are a lot of black men who question whether or not they have the ability to breathe and lead in a
Oh yeah, that video for another way. But man, you see how they did Brandon Wheaton? I mean, they did draft him at 28. Good Lord. They literally don't know how to treat a quarterback. Like, it's only obvious that the Cleveland Browns, since the 90s, has been hot garbage when it comes to quarterbacks. And it don't look like it's getting any better. And when you look at Baker Mayfield, look at him now. Dude balling out of control. And do I need to find the footage from last week with Joe Flacco going crazy? Hold on, let me see if I can find the footage of Joe. Y'all got to remember, Joe Flacco looks like trash the first few games of this season. Joe Flacco went into the season as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. He had more interceptions than touchdowns. So how is it that he instantly goes to a different team and starts throwing touchdowns and look like a whole new player? How do you do that? Man, this is crazy. Hold on, let me see if I can find some of this Joe Flacco video from last week, cause it's crazy. Here we go, right here. All right, I'm finna just show y'all what happens to quarterbacks when they leave Cleveland. Good Lord.
Where somehow you did a little zone read, pulled it, and ran for 10 in the first down.
So listen, there was a handful of plays today that I was like, what is he saying? We have these formations that end in F, and I was not getting it. That one, I read off my wristband. It was correct.
Can you walk us through?
11 days ago, did you expect to ever have this feeling again?
It's a good question. I didn't feel like it felt like I might not, to be honest with you. So, it's pretty special.
Does that enable you, does you let that sink in, does a night like this?
Yeah, for sure. When I talk to my family and, we're laughing about this and just, that'll be a reminder.
11 days ago, did you?
10. I honestly felt like this week was probably a little bit harder than last week just because it's such a short week. You're still putting in a full game plan. You don't get to hear the play as much, but there's certain things with formations and things like that you're hearing for the first couple times. And even though you've read the play a million times, when you hear it, just wasn't hitting my brain right. And we were joking on the sideline. Anytime that happened and we broke the play and we broke the huddle and it was I don't know if we're right here. I mean, that play hit. So we got lucky tonight in that sense. I honestly felt like this week was probably a little bit harder than last week just because it's such a short week. You're still putting in a full game plan. You don't get to hear the play as much.
Nigga, is that Joe Flacco? What the he's still in the league? I thought that nigga went extinct 5 years ago. Why is that nigga still here? There's a bunch of ancient ass niggas at quarterback this year. You got Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers.
Joe Flacco should never start another game in the NFL. The Browns are just wasting time with him at quarterback. I'd rather watch Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur go out there and throw 3 picks with a couple highlight plays because right now, the Browns offense is the most boring product in the league. And the crazy part is they got a superstar defense. They could be good. But with a 40-year-old quarterback who's got a noodle for an arm, what is the point? Do the Browns actually think they're going to win with him? It's a clown mistake. Just get your rookies live reps. It's the only way they're going to get better. Especially someone like Shedeur. Throwing him into a fire isn't gonna ruin his confidence. He's got nothing to lose and is in the right mindset. I think I speak for all of America when I say we'd all rather watch whatever he's got than another snap of Joe Flacco. Even Flacco's touchdown today was the luckiest shit ever. Blatantly obvious holding call goes unnoticed. Marlon Humphrey forgets how to catch. Should have been a pick, and it's on 4th and 2. Ravens secondary just loves giving up tip drill touchdowns. And don't point to his 300 yards last week. He had 45 attempts. Bengals played soft coverage and gave him checkdowns all day. Wasn't impressive. So please, Browns, let us see one of the rookies next week. Joe Flacco should never start.
Woo! Now, ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Joe Flacco started the season in Cleveland and looked like shit. Ass, cheeks, trash, whatever you call it. And they asked him, did you ever think you'll get this feeling again? And it's crazy, right? You look like a whole new man. You see the video. You've seen how they've treated quarterbacks that they drafted, that they liked. And all of them was white. Just got to be fair when we're talking about this. You think Shedeur got a chance? I don't think so. I don't think he got a chance. That's the way they are treating the quarterbacks that they drafted. The quarterbacks that they really, really, really wanted. If you think Shedeur got a chance, you out of your goddamn mind. Nope. Hey, this is the internet. I can cuss. And I would say the best thing for him to do is to ball out whenever he get a chance and get traded and get the hell out. There's a lot of places he can go. But we do not want to see him right away in Cleveland. Hey, Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. You've been watching the Cool Reviews, and I just had to do this quick video about the Cleveland Browns and the history of their quarterbacks, because I even learned something new about what Cleveland do. They're wrong. Hey, this your boy. I'm signing out. The Cool Reviews. I'm out.